A very good Monday evening. Thanks for clicking on to Vogan's European Outlook. A little tweet here from fellow weather enthusiast Stuart Markham, based down in Chorley in Lancashire. He tweeted just a couple of hours ago, the more that this goes on, the more I worry about summer. And it has been something I have been following in recent days and even in the last week. The delay in the breakdown of the winter polar vortex over the northern hemisphere, whatever we wish to blame that on, it's hard to say whether it's solar, whether it's the La Nina, whether there's even some influences with regards to the volcano that's gone off in the Caribbean island of St. Vincent. Whatever it may be, we have a late breakdown of the stratospheric polar vortex. So in other words, we've had a very chilly upper atmosphere, upper troposphere into the stratosphere. Instead of seeing the stratosphere warming up as you would typically expect at this time of the year, it's maintained a very, very, very cold theme, which is very interesting indeed. Of course, we've seen the coming down of the global temperature. We've seen the cooling of the oceans, not just in the Pacific, but in other parts of the world as well. We've seen that net cooling taking place. And this is all very interesting, especially as we look towards the summer season. And like he says, the more that we maintain this, the more he worries about the summer. And that is a good point. We've got some warming taking place here, but it's not until we go into the latter half of April and into the month of May. Now, the North Atlantic Oscillation and the Arctic Oscillation is expected to go negative, and if you're looking for summer warmth, that is not exactly what we're looking for at this time of the year. So, looking at the GFS ensemble, we know, of course, that it's been very, very dry, and unfortunately, that dry theme looks as if it's going to maintain itself. Although we're pulling out of the intense cold that was seen back during the first couple of weeks of April, that kind of nagging chill is going to maintain itself. And of course, if the modelling is correct, then we're going to have a very chilly month of April when all is said and done. You would typically see cold first halves of April, then we would see a recovery, like 2018 for example. We've seen a very chilly start, but then it was followed by record-breaking warmth at the end of April. That is not going to be the case this year, and it looks as if we've got some fun and games as we push towards the month of May. So let's look at the GFS ensemble, and you can see here this is potentially the kind of signal of that sudden stratospheric warming event taking place. We've got, of course, the super typhoon over the West Pacific. That enhances ridging up over the North Pacific into Alaska, forces a trough and colder Arctic air to sink south into the central and eastern half of the United States. Of course, this is Greenland, Iceland, the UK, Europe. Notice here we've got a ridge of high pressure over Scandinavia. Watch as we go forward, skip through the loop. We'll start to see the pattern shifting here. We'll start to see that ridge of high pressure start to go from the UK up into Greenland. That is going to start to push the mean winds out of the northeast over the UK. So, of course, we're replacing somewhat troughiness over Greenland and a ridge over Scandinavia. We're flipping it round. We're now starting to see the big ridge over Greenland, the trough over Scandinavia. Watch what happens, folks, as we go into the final week of April. We'll start to strengthen that ridge up over Greenland. We'll start to deepen the trough over Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, and watch as we press through how that starts to back westwards here. So we're going right back to a wintertime pattern, albeit, of course, we're going into the month of May. We've got a much stronger sun angle, but this, folks, is not a warm pattern as we push into the month of May here. That's for sure. Very interesting, to say the least. Now, of course, upcoming 5 days, 2 meter temperature anomalies look like this here. Notice here as we go into the 6 to 10 day how that cold starts to intensify, particularly so over Eastern Europe. But we're starting to push the cold back into the UK, and by the time we get into the 11 to 15, which, by the way, that is the period between the 29th and the 4th of May, look at this here. We've got the cold trough in place, and folks, we could even see some record-breaking chilly days and nights to come. Remember, look at what happened last year. We've seen the coldest UK temperature in many years across the Highlands. We've seen some of the coldest temperatures in 30 to 40 years across parts of England and Wales just last May. Could we repeat that as we go into this May? That is going to be the question. So that's it for today. I hope you have a great day. Back in the next couple of days with more. Bye for now.